Sponsorship is surprisingly formulaic and surprisingly systematic. It's not quite as complicated as people think it is. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the 5 stages of sponsorship sales. Stay tuned. All right, stage number 1, arguably the most technical, possibly the most boring stage, is that of inventory building, audience identification, and valuation. You build an inventory because you need to have things to sell. You should have at least 100 individual assets for every property, hopefully many more. Right? An asset could be things like logo placement or speaking engagements or sampling, all of those things that most people put in their sponsorship packages under gold, silver, bronze. You want to have at least 100 of those to draw from to help your sponsors get their ideal outcome. Valuation, of course, is covered at length in many other videos and blog posts, so I'm not going to talk about it here. But audience data is something we often skip. Right? Incredibly important. You must know who your audience is. I'll link to some blog posts and resources to help you identify your inventory, value your sponsorship opportunities, and figure out who your audience is. If your sponsorship sales strategies do not start with inventory, valuation, and audience data, you are set up for failure. Once you know your inventory, once you know your value, and once you know your audience, prospecting is actually really simple because you can just ask the question, what companies want to get in front of this audience? If you believe your audience is the general public or everyone, you're in trouble. No sponsors are interested in everyone. So you got to get really granular about your audience, understand who they are, and believe me, once you've done that, prospect outreach and prospecting is really, really simple. So I'll put some links to some blog posts all about how to use audience data in order to prospect appropriately. Stage 3 is the prospecting meeting, the discovery session, that first meeting with a prospect. No sponsorship packages allowed. The only goal for the first meeting is to get the second meeting. And that's it. In that first meeting, you want to be talking to your prospects about what they're trying to achieve, who their target market is, their coming sales goals, what they're looking for in a partner, in a sponsorship property, the kind of things that they value, the kind of things they hate, the problems they're trying to overcome. You really want to get inside the psychology, the mind of your prospect so that you can offer them a tailored solution just for them to help them achieve their primary goal outcome. Now, I've written a lot about the types of questions you should be asking in your very first meeting, and I will link to those questions in the show notes as well. Stage 4 is building a sponsorship package. Now, how many of you out there started your sponsorship process by creating a sponsorship package? Don't lie. I know you're doing it. You create a sponsorship package, you talk all about your organization, its history, and if you're a charity, you talk about your mission and vision and all the people you're going to help. And then you create an arbitrary grid of gold, silver, bronze, or some other name, and you send it out into the world and hope it will make sales for you. That does not work, and it really hasn't worked for decades. That's why step 4 or stage 4 is building a sponsorship package. You know your audience, you've built an inventory, you know your value, you've identified your prospects, you've actually sat down with your prospects and had a conversation with them. Then and only then can you build a sponsorship package tailored just for them. Stage 5 is 2 stages kind of sandwiched together: activation and fulfillment. Activation is making sure that you connect your sponsor to their target market in meaningful ways. What does it mean to do it meaningfully? Well, that's up to your sponsor. That's up to the brand. They know what triggers a purchasing decision or a change among their audience that they're trying to create. You have to design an experience in order to bring your sponsor directly to their target market, to their audience, in a way that your brand, your sponsor loves, and in a way that your audience loves. That's called activation. Now, after you've sold your sponsorship, after you've activated and delivered, that's when you move to fulfillment, right? A fulfillment report, which is simply proving that you did what you said you would. Now, why is fulfillment part of the 5 stages of sponsorship sales if it comes after you've made the sale and delivered? The reason is simple. The fulfillment report is the best prospecting tool out there. You deliver a fulfillment report to your sponsors proving that you delivered on everything you said you would. In fact, that you over-delivered, proving the value of what you offered them in the first place, and that you delivered even more value, means that you're going to have a much easier time asking them to come back at your next event or your next program or for next year. And you're also going to be in a perfect position to ask them for a referral. Who in their network do they think that you should be working with? The fulfillment report is often missed, often skipped, and yet it's the most valuable tool in sponsorship sales. So there you have it. Follow these 5 stages of sponsorship sales and your sponsorship program will do far better than if you just create a sponsorship package and fire it out the door. And of course, remember, the sponsorship proposal doesn't make the sale. You do. Good luck out there.